Coming up on 5 Minute News. At least one dead after unprecedented Storm Fiona batters Canada. Italy looks to install first female Prime Minister as right-wing party leads election. And sterling plunges to an all-time low against the dollar. It's Monday, September 26. I'm Santa Templeton. Officials have warned the damage caused by Storm Fiona along Canada's Atlantic coast has never been seen before, and it will take months to rebuild destroyed critical infrastructure. The scale of what we're dealing with, I think, is unprecedented, Canada's Emergency Preparedness Minister Bill Blair said on Saturday. Homes have been destroyed and at least one person has died after being washed out to sea in Newfoundland. Parts of 5 provinces experienced torrential rain and winds of up to 160 kilometres per hour, with widespread flooding and hundreds of thousands of people left without power. Prime Minister Trudeau says the military will be deployed to Nova Scotia, adding if there's anything the federal government can do to help, we will be there. He has said he will no longer travel to Japan to attend the funeral of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to deal with the storm's aftermath. It's as Tropical Storm Ian is expected to be upgraded to a hurricane as it heads towards western Cuba. The government has been evacuating tourists there as Ian strengthened over the warm waters of the Caribbean Sea late on Sunday, with sustained winds of 96 kilometres per hour, according to the National Hurricane Centre. Ports throughout the western half of Cuba have been closed and fishermen called back to harbour. Storm Ian has also seen the third delay to the launch of NASA's Artemis moon rocket from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida on Tuesday. Giorgia Meloni looks set to become Italy's first woman Prime Minister at the head of its most right-wing government since World War II. Latest results show the rightist bloc should have a solid majority in both houses of parliament, potentially giving Italy a rare chance of political stability after years of upheaval and fragile coalitions. We must remember that we are not at the end point. We are at the starting point. It is from tomorrow that we must prove our worth. Meloni told cheering supporters of her nationalist Brothers of Italy party early on Monday. Meloni and her allies face a daunting list of challenges, including soaring energy prices, the war in Ukraine, and renewed slowdown in the Eurozone's third largest economy. Her coalition government, Italy's 68th since 1946, is unlikely to be installed before the end of October, and Prime Minister Mario Draghi remains at the head of a caretaker administration for now. European capitals and financial markets will carefully scrutinise her early moves, starting from her ministerial picks, given her Eurosceptic past and her allies' ambivalent position on Russia. The British pound has fallen to an all-time low against the US dollar after Treasury Chief Kwasi Kwarteng pledged a sweeping package of tax cuts, fueling concerns about the government's economic policy as the United Kingdom creeps towards recession. The pound fell as low as $1.0373 before rallying to 1.0672 in early London trading. It was its lowest level since the decimalisation of the currency in 1971. The British currency has lost more than 5% of its value against the dollar since Friday, when Kwarteng announced the biggest tax cuts in 50 years. It comes as the government plans to spend billions of pounds to help consumers and businesses struggling with high energy bills that are driving a cost of living crisis. The combination sparked investor concern about spiralling government debt. The pound's decline against the dollar also has been fueled by the Bank of England not keeping pace with the US Federal Reserve's efforts to rein in inflation. Britain's central bank on Thursday raised interest rates by 0.5 percentage point, compared with large 3/4 point increases by the Fed last week. But UK inflation is the highest among major economies, and the bank has predicted a recession later in the year.
You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.